Welcome to part 2 of the Red Pig project. Today's video will be about the wiring harness. As we are running a standalone, everything needs to be made custom, and I start figuring out which wires goes where and putting them together, and finally we're gonna do a big harness of it. Also needs to be done a little bit of exhaust work, so we're gonna weld some exhaust system, as this engine has a slightly different front piece on the exhaust part than the last one, so I need to remake the downpipes on both sides. So yeah, hope you enjoy. On transmission and engine married together quite easily, and now it's all about hooking stuff up, splitting the harness to. I need to bring the connectors that feeds the instrument cluster, they need to live on, but everything else is going to be new harness and computerized ignition, computerized throttle body, everything new. So now begins the big job of making new harnesses, and all the connections, all the computerized stuff. So some of you asked about the conversion to electronic ignition and fuel, and if I could be a little bit more specific what that is all about. So here I laid it all out on the table. So all in all, this is what you need to get the car running. There are a couple of sensors missing that is already on the car. Mainly it's the trigger sensor and the trigger wheel that is already fitted on the crank. And this is the main ECU. It's Max ECU, it's a sport version. There's different versions depending on how much stuff you want to bring. This one has a single lambda sensor. I know the race version has a dual one, so you can monitor the exhaust combustion from both sides of the engine if you have a V engine, or yeah. So there's a lot of advanced features on this one, and even more on the more expensive ones. This is the electronical throttle. It's from Bosch. So this, I'm not sure if it will fit yet, but I will get there. This is not a major concern. You have the lambda sensor connection. You have different, this one is really great. You can use a lot of different sensors on this because it's programmable. But this Bosch sensor is actually, it has two functions in one. It's a pressure sensor and it's also a temperature sensor. So you can see, I don't know if you see that on camera, but there is a probe for the temperature and it's a small little hole there for the membrane and the pressure sensor. So the thought is to have one of these in the fuel, so I can monitor the fuel temperature and the pressure. You can also program this to have different thresholds. So if, let's say, the fuel pressure disappears, you can activate limp mode and warnings and stuff like that. And there's a lot of different clips. Here's one of the same sensors. I plan to use this for the coolant. Then you can have a coolant sensor, and also you can monitor the coolant pressure. If you break your head gasket, it will be easy to see on the coolant pressure sensor. Different connectors for the injectors. They are already fitted on the car. I'll show you. But this one is actually quite easy to terminate. This one is the connections for the coils. Coils are from GM, LXX it says. They have the drivers on the back. That's a big plus. So that is the number on them. Premi. So I need to find a way to fix this. It's a bit of weird pattern. It's offset, and I need to find some form of way to fixture this one on the engine so it looks good and is functional. And then you have the main harness, which is like this and has all the sensor input and output. So all in all, that's what you need. The price for this is it's depending on how much sensor you need and how much you buy, but to get this car up and running, I'm thinking about we are next to 50,000 kroners in Norwegian, and that is about $5,000 or 5,000 euros. So getting everything in place, hooked up, and up and running will be something I document with this video. Already mounted the fuel rails. This car doesn't have fuel rails from the factory, so this one is made and machined and welded, and also made some injector seats. You can see the aluminum part that goes down in the head. That is also machined and fitted. So this one I have done before. This spacer and this throttle is made in an earlier video. This throttle body is from a E55 AMG. So I will connect everything, and I plan to use this this open space for the pressure transducer for the coolant. As you have coolant flowing through this part of the manifold, you can see there is some stock sensors for the instrument cluster, and also you have a lot of different coolant passages here. So I need to block some of them off, and when I find which one I'm gonna use or not. This is the plug for the magnetic sensor down on the trigger wheel. I don't know if you can see it, but it's down there. Trigger wheel is fitted to the crank, and I made a small bracket to hold this sensor. So this is needs to be fitted to the main harness. Just spent the time on hooking up the coolant hoses in the back of the engine, vacuum hoses, and everything that needs to go inside for instrumentation. And now it's all about getting the electrical drawn through the torpedo wall on a nice way. Find a spot to mount the ECU on the inside of the car, and starting to draw out the wires that needs to go to the injectors, coils, and so on. So first out, I'm gonna put a sleeve of shrinking plastic on there. It's glue on the inside that activates with heat. I'm gonna put that over everything and take the main harness inside the car and pull it through the torpedo wall. And when everything is done, everything is connected, and we have verified that everything works, we're gonna make this pretty and then you need this one. It's too late to have it on then, because then everything is branched out and and connect it. So I always start with this one, and hopefully I get everything in the right order, because that is crucial when doing harnesses, that if you do start in the wrong direction, everything needs to come apart. So this loom I will bring inside the car, pull it out through this grommet. It's not big, this grommet, so I was figuring out if there is another way, but I don't think there is any more passages through this torpedo wall, and I wouldn't like to drill new ones. Actually, I would like to keep this as stock as possible, so I think I'm gonna slice this grommet and pull it through there. Yeah, so inside the car I go. So managed to get all the wires through the original grommet. Taped all the ends like this, and put one through and pulled everything through this way. It worked out fine. So now it's all about sorting out what goes where and start separating the loom into different small looms. So the first thing I want to tackle on this car is the wire that lies next to the torpedo wall, which will be the shortest one of them all, I guess. But this is the lambda sound. It's a wideband from Bosch, and it has a connector that looks like this. In the kit from Max SU, they give you this, and they give you this fancy grommet to put over here, and they give you the pins for pinning this one. So now it's all about looking into the documentation, what wire goes where into this socket, and pin it up, couple it, and shorten the wires to the correct length, and then wideband is up and running. Should be up and running. So as you see, I got this pin connected. The weatherproofing is clamped by the outer cramp, and the wire is clamped by the inner cramp. So now everybody is like this, but I'm gonna make sure that they don't fall off, because when everything is new like this, you may have to repin them. If you don't, there is different ways to hook this up. Depends on the sensor and the pin out on the sensor. So just to make sure that I doesn't pull the wires out of the cramps, if I need to repin it, I'm gonna make a little soldering just to make sure that they are in there just quite right. Doesn't need much, just a little bit to keep the wires in place. So that's it. That's all it takes. So it's the same with these connectors. I like to put some soldering on them, just to be sure that if I need to repin them, there is no problem. And also it makes a better connection, especially in the front of the engine like this. They can be exposed to water and salts and everything. This is a car that is gonna be driven, so just to make sure I do this. This is what I've been doing the last days. I haven't brought you along on every small detail because it's tedious work and takes a lot of time. Not much to see actually, but stuff that has been done is trigger sensor all mocked up. All the injectors are done, clipped on, and also they are marked, injector 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on, also on this side. And I managed to find a mounting place for the coils. I tried to have them outside of the engine, on top of the valve cover, but I didn't like how it looked. It looks kind of messy, and I want to keep it as clean as possible. It's also the battery will come over here, so it's quite tight on space actually. The same on this side. If you're gonna mount the coils over here, you need to clear a lot of room, and I didn't want to do that, so I ended up looking for a solution that does two things, because I need some airbox over this throttle body. A single tube maybe wasn't the right way to go. Maybe I'll try to make a airbox, like more of a replica of the old one. So I have made a little CAD template here, cardboard template. It's gonna be something like this, and this will have tubes running in front to each air filter. I haven't decided if I want to run 2 or 1 tube. I'm not sure, but this will hide the coils a little bit, not completely, but enough that it doesn't get visual. They don't get too visual. So I'll do the same on the other side. Weld some brackets on the fuel rail, and they are on there quite good. So that is what I've been doing the last days. And now I have some work underneath the car. Make the exhaust system fit. The M116 and the M117 has different downpipes or manifold tubes. So I need to adjust, and especially on this the driver's side, I need to make sure that the downpipe doesn't interfere with the pivoting rack of the steering. So yeah, join me underneath the car and we'll weld some exhaust system. So this is what we are working with. The manifold ends up, as you can see, close to the block, and I need to route the exhaust system as close to the block and gearbox as possible, since this steering arm is pivoting back and forth when you're steering. So I need to try to come out at this point with the tube and go underneath the car and into this Y over here. And the same thing on this side, but here it's much more spacey. It's a lot more space, and this will be much easier, I think. So I'm gonna start with the hard one. Also chop the manifold flarings off, the old exhaust. This one is a pretty weird looking stuff. They are pretty specific to this type of model. I can show you on this engine.
They fit snug, and there's just a tiny amount of gasket material on this cone right here that seals this flange. So chopped off the old pipe, and everything seems to be 2-inch 50 millimeters, so this will do it. And I got some pipes from the shelf, mandrel bend, polished inside out, and also some straight tubing. So the exercise waiting me now is to chop this up in pieces, start mocking them together, and making an exhaust dome pipe or manifold pipe or whatever you want to call it. So these parts I need to use, and I will work my way out from here. All right. So, got the first piece of pipe welded to the joint, and here you can see how tight it is. So I brought the exhaust pipes as far into the engine as I can. I don't want it to touch it, because that will make it make a noise, and it would not be great. It will heat up the sump and everything. But it's about on half an inch 15 millimeters clearance, and now the steering is all the way over, so it's the tightest spot. And I'm gonna put on this bend right here, like so, and I will bring the exhaust from there and backwards to this the joint underneath the car. So after a couple of hours, this is where we're at. The tube is fitting nicely, and the route backward is nice. I'm gonna cut this at this point because it touches the mount here, so I'm gonna do some modification on that route, but everything looks good so far, and we have plenty of space for turning. I'll try to show you. When you turn over at the right, this is where it gets, and it's still plenty of clearance around that tube on the all sides. Tightest spot is up there between the nut and so that is okay. That won't be any problem. So yeah, really happy with that route down there, and we'll continue our way backwards and move over to the next side after this is done.
So this one is in place, and also This part of the system is done, accepting both this direction with the clearance and also the opposite correction with some clearance. So yeah, this is a tough spot on the cars with this type of steering box. They travel a lot, these arms, so that is why it's kind of funky. A lot of turns and 90 degrees, which is not optimal, but this is how it has to be. Yeah, so this one is the old part done before. So everything is welded together and ready to go underneath. Okay, if you've been watching until now, I really appreciate it. It's a fun project, it's a lot of work, but I really appreciate you watching through everything. And next video will be about fabrication of the intake system in aluminium, and also about finishing up the wiring, making the throttle pedal work together with the throttle body and stuff like that. After that is done, we'll continue to the oiling system and just some small stuff that is missing at the moment. Have some parts on order, they will be arrived shortly. Then that will be okay, and then it's pretty much close to starting to programming this thing and start it up. So yeah, hopefully enjoy the video, and please let me know if there is something you would like to have a deeper insight into. That is just fun, and I will gladly give it to you. So yeah, okay, bye bye.